13 News Now at noon starts with breaking news. Hampton police are getting ready to update us on the search for a missing 2-year-old boy. Today is day 3 of the search to find Noah Tomlin.
He went missing sometime Monday morning, and officers and the public have been looking for him ever since. Here's a live look at that update, or we'll give you that live look here in just a moment. There it is. At the last update, police said they've exhausted all search efforts around Atlantic Avenue and are moving the search to other areas of the city.
Of course, Atlantic Avenue is where the family's located. The family's home is located in the Buckrow Beach area, and that podium that we just showed you is outside of the Hampton Police Department. And we do expect to hear from the police chief coming up here in just a matter of seconds. Still a lot of questions, Ashley, as we enter day 3 in the search for little Noah Tomlin.
We've been following the timeline, certainly. It looks like we're going to go now to the police chief. Let's take a listen.
I'm joined this morning by the chief of the Hampton Police Division, Chief Terry Solt, and our operations commander, Captain Thornton. This morning, Chief Solt is going to provide an update into the investigation for the missing juvenile, Noah Tomlin.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, our concern and prayers are going out to the family of Noah Tomlin. What we know today has not changed much since the first announcement. Noah has been missing since June 24th at 1 a.m. It was the last time he was seen, Monday morning, when he was put down by his mother for bed. And when she went to check on him around 11 or 11:15, she did not find him, and she reported him missing at 11:36 Monday morning. Since that time, an intensive search has been underway. In conjunction with that search, an intensive investigation has been underway. What we're here to update you on today is the search portion of our efforts to locate Noah. Again, we are still hopeful that we will find him safe and sound in some location, but we are looking at all potential aspects that this case could lead us to. We conducted a search with a lot of our partners, and we will give you a list of all the different agencies that have been involved in the search in the area of the neighborhood. We have looked on land, water, we have checked trash, dumpsters, we have checked neighborhoods, houses, underneath buildings, in sheds. We actually covered the area multiple times with different teams so that we would have different eyes checking the same locations repeatedly. This has been very intense over the last 48 hours, and I'm sure that you have been following that and following our crews around. There has been help on both the local, state, and federal levels. They're engaged in both the search efforts and on the investigative side, and we are making progress on the search side of things. Today we have shifted our search efforts to the landfill. There's no specific information that has led us to the landfill, but in past experience we have found that we often have to search these areas, and so what we did in the planning aspects, we put it into 5 phases. We wanted to do 4 search phases locally to the site where Noah went missing, and then this was always in the plan to come to this location. We planned for it early. We worked with our Public Works Department to isolate trash to where we wouldn't get into having to search an entire landfill. We also stopped trash pickup in the area so that we could check trash before it was transported, but we know we always miss something. So this is the next phase. Again, we are still very hopeful that Noah will be found safely or and without harm and brought back home. We're not going to go into much detail on the investigation side at this point. We will do another update later that will focus a little bit more on that. But today I wanted to make sure that we were transparent and letting you know why we are here. With that, we are on the investigative side working with local, state, and federal investigation, and that includes the state police, that includes our investigators, but it also includes the FBI up to and including the behavioral science unit associated with the investigation. We're leaving no leaf unturned. We're looking at everything from the child walking off to the abduction scenario. There's nothing that we're not looking at. And so we've got a lot of resources working in multiple different directions. To that end, that's what we know at this point that we can go into as far as the details. What you can do, or what our residents can do, is be vigilant and looking out for Noah, talking with friends, see if they've seen anything, heard anything. Let us know about that, and we will look into it. We're very much interested in any video, pictures, or anything from the surrounding area during the time frame of 1 a.m. Monday morning all the way through today that might capture anything to have to do with the case. There's someone out there that likely knows something. We need that piece of information to help guide us as well. We do have some things that we are working on, but again, we won't go into that right now. With that, I do want to thank our partners. Again, you'll get a comprehensive list, and I don't really want to leave anyone out, but we are working with all of our neighboring jurisdictions. We're working with, we have worked with the Port Authority, Maritime Response Team. We've worked with the Air Force OSI resources and their security forces to assist, Tidewater Search and Rescue, the Virginia Port MERT team. We're looking at the Hampton Roads Incident Management Team. Chesapeake Fire Department has provided some assistance. York County Sheriff's Department. Again, the FBI, Pocosin Police Department, and fire departments. There's a myriad of resources that we have put into place. We have done water searches with side scan sonar. We have used airboats to get into the tidewater areas, into the marsh areas. We have searched those areas on foot. We have used aerial drone teams from multiple jurisdictions to assist, as well as I mentioned before, multiple repeated searches in the immediate area. With that, I'll take a few questions.
There you have it. Chief Terry Solt of Hampton Police Department updating the media in what was about a 13-minute news conference. A lot of information coming out there. Of course, he started off saying not much new information, but there was some new information to be gleaned from that, including the timeline.
Exactly. So we initially were talking about police being called around 11:30, but we found out that Noah was apparently, it was noticed that he was missing at 11:15, and mom called police about 21 minutes later at 11:36. So we do now know about that gap between realizing that Noah was missing and actually contacting police.
An important timeline too. Earlier we just knew the 1 a.m. bedtime and the 11:30 call to officers. Now we know it was about 11:15 when mom says that Noah was not to be found in bed. Of course, they also went through the search, and everywhere they've looked, they've been checking waterways, they've been using drones, they've been using sonar, and of course by ground. A 5-phase search plan they talked about, with the last phase taking them to the landfill.
Exactly. Of course, police mentioning there, the chief talking about hoping that they still will find Noah safe and sound, but they're not ruling anything out at this point. They are starting, of course, with him just actually getting out of the house and walking away, all the way up to a possible abduction. They've talked about checking family members. Maybe another family member might have had him, or someone saw him on the street. So they're not ruling anything out at this point.
Yeah, and the chief ended there. He said, still very hopeful Noah will be found safely without harm and brought back home. Something I know all of us in this area are certainly echoing today.
Absolutely. And before we move on here, we just want to remind you, as the chief just mentioned, if you have any pictures or video between 1 a.m. Monday and now, please send them to the police. Now, we want to move to this. You may have noticed that police aren't issuing an Amber Alert in this case, and that's because Amber Alerts require very specific criteria. So first off, investigators have to determine that the child has been abducted, and you just heard that has not been determined at this point. They also have to believe the missing child is in imminent danger. We don't have that information right now. They need specific information to release that could help locate the child, like a license plate or a picture of the person who abducted him. Again, just too early to make those calls.
This will be a story that we continue to follow throughout the day, of course, the search for little Noah Tomlin. But coming up next, we head to Washington, D.C., and that's where former special counsel Robert Mueller is speaking with lawmakers.
We're going to take a closer look at the subpoenas and what lawmakers expect from the hearing. We'll be right back. Former special counsel Robert Mueller has responded to subpoenas from 2 House committee chairmen agreeing to testify in an open session on July 17.
So still a few weeks away, and for more on what that might entail and how the White House is responding, here's ABC's Will Reeve.
Robert Mueller will testify in open session.
Will Reeve, ABC News, New York.
All right, let's get your forecast now. Here's Tim.
All right, good afternoon, guys. Not a bad setup out there for your lunch hour. We got lots of sunshine. Temperatures still on the warm side, although slightly cooler than yesterday. And also that humidity has dropped just ever so slightly.
All right, looking pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, we move to this now. The Girl Scouts are showing their love for Virginia state parks and are encouraging more people to get outside. So we're going to tell you about a fun-filled weekend coming up. Welcome back to 13 News Now at noon. Next month, the Girl Scouts of the Colonial Coast and Girl Scouts USS are holding its first ever Girl Scouts Love State Parks weekend. This is really cool. Joining me now to talk about it is no stranger to 13 News Now, the lovely Miss Courtney Herrick. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know, you were telling me during the break that this is a first of its kind event. So, Courtney, how can people get in contact with you and sign up for this?
Yeah, so they can visit our website, gsccc.org, or give us a call. The number is on the screen.
Perfect. Courtney, wonderful to see you.
See you too.
Really cool event. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And all this information will be on 13newsnow.com. We'll be right back.
Thanks for sticking around at noon. I'm Dan Kennedy.
And I'm Ashley Smith. And about 30 minutes ago, we got an update from Hampton Police on the search for 2-year-old Noah Tomlin. He disappeared sometime Monday morning.
Our Nico Clemens was there as the police chief gave us an update. He joins us now live from Hampton with the latest. Nico?
Well, guys, as you just heard minutes ago, Chief Solt didn't really have much of an update, unfortunately. The biggest takeaway is that police are shifting their focus to the landfill, and he says it's not because they have information that Noah's actually in the landfill or at the landfill. He says it was always part of their plan to search the landfill, so they're looking at all types of scenarios. The landfill is one of those scenarios, but we know over the last couple of days, police were searching over near the home where Noah's mom reported him missing. That's over there near the Buckrow Beach area. They were searching as far as the Salt Pond area, which again is not too far from Buckrow Beach. Chief Solt told us in this press conference just a few minutes ago they've looked and searched in neighborhoods. They've searched trash cans. And 2-year-old Noah Tomlin's disappearance has really hit this community really hard, and not just Hampton community, but the entire Hampton Roads community. Chief Solt says, again, they're exploring all possibilities. They're looking at all options, meaning they're not ruling out a potential abduction or that the child even walked off. But we're hoping to get more information from police later this afternoon, and we'll bring you the latest starting at 4. Live in Hampton, I'm Nico Clemens, 13 News Now.
Okay, Nico, thank you for that. And of course, Chief Solt also reminding people if they have any information to give Hampton Police a call. Here's a look in just a moment. We'll give you that look of the timeline of Noah's disappearance. Not sure if we have that for you, but we'll tell it to you now. Noah's mother said she put him to bed around 1 Monday morning. Sometime over the next 10 hours, he disappeared. So his mother realized he was missing at 11:15 a.m. Monday morning, called police at 11:36 a.m.
And that afternoon, police set up a command center on Atlantic Avenue using every available resource to search. We're talking about drones in the sky, divers in the water, searchers on the ground. And then it was yesterday afternoon when officers showed up and started taking pictures at Bethel landfill that you just heard Nico talking about as a precautionary step.
Now, the search for Noah is getting national attention at this point. People all across the country sharing Noah's picture, hoping to help bring him home. We found tweets as far away as Texas.
We have quite a bit of other news to get to today, and we'll start in Newport News, where police have identified the man shot and killed in that city yesterday. We're told they found 49-year-old Christopher Alston dead on 27th Street over near Wickham Avenue. So far, no suspect information as of this afternoon. The investigation continues. If you can help out, give the crime line a call. And in Hampton, they have been busy there the last few days. Police are investigating a homicide in Fox Hill. Happened yesterday afternoon when officers found 21-year-old Sean Cameron shot multiple times on Windmill Point Road. He died at the scene. No suspects in this case either. And in Norfolk, a man is dead after a double shooting in this city. It happened on Keller Avenue around 8 last night over near the Kroc Center. When police got to the scene, they found a man and a woman had been shot. The man didn't make it. The woman went to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
Well, now to Virginia Beach, where an independent investigation into the mass shooting in the city is one step closer to becoming a reality. So yesterday, at a city council workshop, Vice Mayor Jim Wood introduced a proposal to make that happen. Here's how it would work. The city auditor would find an independent consultant to conduct that review. The consultant would look at all events and personnel files surrounding the shooting and the shooter.
I think it's going to be a work in progress about the exact nature and scope, but at least, it'll be brought forward and we will inform the public by our actions here at this table.
So Councilwoman Sabrina Wooten also presented her own independent review proposal. Wooten's review would start immediately, while Wood's would make sure law enforcement agencies sign off on the proposal first. City Council is expected to review both proposals over the next week.
Tomorrow morning there will be a memorial service to honor the 12 victims. It'll be at the amphitheater in Virginia Beach. It'll be focusing on the friends, family, and city staff affected by the tragedy, but anybody is welcome to go. Some city offices will be closed so they can attend that service. All that information is on our website.
Well, today, first responders in Suffolk held an active shooter drill. Happened at 8:30 this morning. Now, police, fire, and rescue squads ran through a scenario where active shooters are on a high school campus. Happened at the College and Career Academy at Pruden.
The biggest takeaway from this is it can happen, and we need to be ready for it. So we try to drill it in their minds. You're on your way to work, you're on your way home, the call goes out, be ready to respond.
So again, this was just a drill, so first responders know what to do if there's ever an emergency like an active shooter.
Turning now to a live look over the Virginia Beach oceanfront.
Still ahead, we'll bring you more of the day's top headlines. The world's biggest retailer is making it easier for using government assistance to buy food. Now, according to TechCrunch.com, Walmart says it will start accepting SNAP benefits as payment for online grocery orders. That will apply to all of its pickup locations. It should be in place by the end of the year.
If you're looking to get out of the heat today, you can now check out the newly renovated Kempsville Area Library in Virginia Beach. Reopened to the public just a few moments ago after 6 months of renovations. The building now has an enclosed children's area as well as extra study rooms and seating areas and, yes, AC. Mayor Bobby Dyer and other city leaders will be there for a ribbon-cutting ceremony this afternoon.
Well, school may be out for the summer, but the Norfolk Public Library wants to keep kids engaged. So registration for its summer reading program begins Saturday. The free 6-week program runs until August 10th, and it's open to all ages. If you're interested, you can register at any branch in person and online. Now, coming up, there are some changes coming to some local school districts.
Next, we'll tell you what your students can soon expect. Tonight, the city of Norfolk wants to hear from you. Transit officials are considering making some changes to Granby Street, and it would involve cutting 4 lanes down to 2 between Bayview Boulevard and Ocean View Avenue. 1 lane on each side of Granby Street would be dedicated to bikes and buses. Not everyone's on board with the idea, though. Some people say it would increase traffic. The city's also looking at a new system called active traffic management.
So at times when we know that naval base or there are increased times of congestion, we would like to be able to open those lanes up for all travel.
Transit officials say nothing's set in stone at this point. If you want to share your opinion, the meeting's at 6 tonight at Northside Middle.
Also happening today in Suffolk, the school board will meet to list out what they want in the next superintendent. At a public meeting last night, parents told the board what qualifications they want, and now the board must come up with an official list. A new superintendent will replace Dr. Whitney, who will officially retire come September.
And speaking of superintendents, Dr. Catherine Edmonds will officially take on that role for Elizabeth City Pasquotank Public Schools. Edmonds is set to start next month. She's currently acting as superintendent of Bertie County School.
Well, the Virginia Zoo's new baby giraffe has a name. Look at all that cuteness. Say hello to Kylie. Zookeepers say the 1-month-old and her mom, Imara, are doing very well. Kylie's already earning her keep, too. Earlier this month, the zoo auctioned off her naming rights for $5,000 at a fundraiser. Sweet. Well, Tim has the final check on your forecast.
That's coming right up.
Oh, I wish you could hear what we talked about during the commercials. Are you a fan of the AMC show The Walking Dead? They will film a spin-off series in Virginia very soon. So listen, if you're a fan, the series is set to start filming in and around Richmond next month, and they're looking for locals to appear in the show. The production team is looking for people of all ages to play a variety of characters, and that includes the zombies. So there you go.
All right, time now for Check Your Forecast. Here's Tim.
All right, good afternoon, guys. A live look out at the ocean front. A lot of folks enjoying the coolish weather with that breeze coming on off the water.
Free roller coaster ride. You have to go to Busch Gardens.
Nobody wants to be on it.
That's true.
I like the weather.
Oh, yeah, you do.
Yes, I'm here for it. That's 13 News Now at noon. Our next newscast is at 4.
Hope you have a great day. You can get the news all day long at 13newsnow.com. See you tomorrow.